Welcome back to my animal education series. Again, we are working with our friend Tiffany from Costa Rica. So Tiffany, do you mind introducing yourself, telling us what organization you work with and how long you've been working there?
Hello, I'm Tiffany Schroeder. I'm here at Alturas Wildlife Sanctuary in Costa Rica. We are a rescue center that aims to rescue, rehabilitate, and release animals back into the wild. Although we do have some animals, like this spider monkey behind me, that are here permanently, often due to the pet trade, the illegal pet trade, and injuries they may have sustained that would put them at great risk of being preyed upon easily or wouldn't allow them to find food if they were to be released. So we do just try to provide the best life that we can for all of the animals, whether they're here temporarily or permanently. I've been here for about 2 years. I came here just on a tour about 4 years ago and then came back to volunteer, and since then I've been a volunteer coordinator, in charge of our enrichment program, doing our outreach and our fundraising, but we're all just animal lovers, science lovers, studying wildlife and conservation to try to give the best life for the animals in the world, and especially here in Costa Rica.
Today we're going to be talking about the Tamandua. Are there any Tamanduas in your care now? And if so, how do the Tamanduas get there?
We do actually have 4 Tamanduas in our care right now. We have one female that arrived with paralysis in her hind legs. We kind of believe that she was born with this, and this is why she was found alone, probably abandoned by her mother. And then we do have 3 other ones that were found as very small babies. Again, assuming that they were either abandoned by their mother or they fell and somebody found it before the mother could come and collect it. So we've been raising them and teaching them their behaviors that they need to learn to survive in the wild.
And is this animal able to be rehabilitated and go back into the wild, or will it remain at your facility for the rest of its life?
So the one that arrived due to the paralysis in her hind legs, she's going to be a permanent resident now, because we can't in good conscience release an animal knowing that she's at a major disadvantage, either to be preyed upon quite easily and quickly, or to make it that it makes it more difficult for her to find the food that she needs to find high up in the trees where those big termite mounds are. The other 3, though, are on a great road to release and are getting bigger and growing every day. They're getting lots of termites and lots of opportunities to climb and use their giant claws to claw open the termite mounds. So we are looking forward to that release and just giving the best life to the other one that can't be released.
Besides Costa Rica, where else can you find Tamanduas?
So these Tamanduas are pretty unique. They're an anteater. They're not like the giant anteater though, they're a much smaller version. But they can be found throughout southeastern Mexico, through Central America and South America, into northern Peru.
Tamanduas are a species that spend a lot of time up in the trees. So what adaptations do they have for an arboreal lifestyle?
They have a lot of neat adaptations that allow them to survive and thrive in the wild. They have tongues that are about as long as 40 centimeters or 15 inches. They use these to gather the termites in the mounds so they can put them through the little holes in the mound to pull the termites back. But they don't actually chew them, they kind of grind them once they're in their mouth. And they also have these giant claws. It's like 3 claws, but the one in the middle is it's so big. They used to claw open the termite mounds and open wood to find ants or any other insects that they want to eat. And then also their tail helps them balance, and they kind of will wrap it around any branches to kind of use that for balance. But then also if they are threatened or scared or anything like that, they'll kind of lean back on their hind legs and use that tail for support and get really big to kind of scare off whatever might be near them that's giving them a threat, or potentially could be trying to injure them. They'll do that stance, and they have full use of those really sharp claws, very strong claws, to defend themselves.
Do Tamanduas spend any time on the ground?
So tamanduas do actually spend about half of their time on the ground, maybe a little less than half of the time on the ground. This is mainly to move from trees, to eat or rest sometimes. But they actually walk in a strange way on the sides of their feet because, like I said, they have those giant, really middle claws. So if they were to walk like this, the claw would dig into their hands. So they kind of walk on the side like this to move around.
Do tamanduas form social groups, or are they primarily loners?
So tamanduas are actually solitary animals. They will spend some time with others when they're younger, most of the time on the back of their mother. But once they are independent, they are pretty much loners, as you say, except when reproducing.
How do tamanduas mark their territory? Or let other tamanduas know that they're in the area?
So tamanduas are, maybe from appearances, don't look very threatening, but they do actually make kind of a hissing noise, and also their feces smell horrible. This is caused by an anal gland that they have that secretes just this horrible, horrible smell. With that smell, it kind of lets any other animals, particularly tamanduas, know that this might be my territory or that there's another one nearby.
What family of animals is the tamandua related to?
So tamanduas are actually related to sloths, strangely enough. These are both part of the order Pilosa and are a good example as to why we can't classify animals purely based on appearance. They are actually also related to armadillos distantly. These three are all in the Xenarthrans and make up a very unique clade of animals.
Are tamanduas nocturnal, or are they diurnal?
So tamanduas can actually be kind of both nocturnal or diurnal. They're usually active about 8 hours a day, but this can be split up between the morning and then the evening, or morning for a couple of hours to eat, and then they go sleep, and then they eat a little bit more, and then they go rest, and they go find another tree to find termites, and then they sleep again. So yeah, we've had some in the past that are not really active during the day, and we've fed through the night and they're very active. Other ones have been solely active throughout the day and just maybe a little bit at night as if we walk by and see them.
What kind of animals would try to eat a tamandua?
So very common in Costa Rica, animals that might prey on tamanduas would be large cat species like a jaguar or puma, as well as large raptors or even large snakes can be a predator in some areas.
Besides hiding from predators, what can a tamandua do to defend itself?
So as I alluded to earlier, when they're trying to defend themselves, or feel threatened, they'll use that tail to stabilize them, and they'll go right up on their hind legs or hold themselves up in a tree so they can stand up and use those sharp claws to defend themselves, or their really, really strong grip. They are some of the strongest animals we ever work with. So use them, try to make themselves look bigger to scare anything away, or use that to attack and try to defend themselves if something's attacking them.
Are tamanduas considered threatened or endangered?
So according to the IUCN Red List, they are of least concern, but like many of the animals in the world right now, their populations have been found to be decreasing, often due to deforestation.
What is the impact of humans on tamandua populations and their environment?
Habitat destruction, again, like deforestation, as well as the pet trade, for example here. These are all ways that humans are impacting their life and their population. Often we get a lot of tamanduas that are coming for car accidents, so that's another thing that we might not think about as humans, that cars are really having a major impact, not just in the accidents, but also the road creation, clearing out areas of their habitat just for us to be able to drive around. This is why we get a lot of car accidents, because they're through a corridor for these animals, and then they're crossing and not used to seeing these large machines driving through and not really sure how to respond, and then they get hit. So it's really sad, and that's why we try to educate people on how we can be more conscious of our actions and what we're doing in what we're doing in the earth.
What can the people in Costa Rica do to help the tamandua's survival and to prevent their habitat from being destroyed?
So we really encourage everyone to learn. Education is definitely the best way to make conscious decisions for animals. We get quite a few animals injured on palm plantations used for palm oil. And I know other rescues here as well in Costa Rica that receive quite a few animals for this reason, from the harvesting and the cutting of the palms animals will get injured or fall from the trees, or a variety of reasons. So educating yourself, trying to buy products that are better for the environment, making decisions that will be reducing your impact on the earth. Really just education can go such a long way. We really try to encourage younger generations especially to learn about animals and why it's so important that we take great care of the earth for just the animals and as well for them. You know, we need animals to have a great healthy earth as well.
For the people watching, is there anything else that you would like to share about the Tamandua?
So the tamanduas are definitely one of our favorite animals here. But like I said, their feces smells horrible, and it's probably one of the worst that we've ever smelled. And we've smelled a lot of strange things. But this is one of our favorite animals. Everything that I've talked about so far is kind of what makes them unique and different compared to the other animals that are in our care or in the world.
And what has been one of your favorite things about working with and rehabilitating tamanduas?
So raising them is definitely rewarding. Like I said, we have 3 young ones right now that we've been raising. This is a large reason why we get the tamanduas. So raising them and watching them learn how to climb and use their tongue and their claws and everything like that. It's really interesting to see them grow and navigate their way in the world, and then eventually release them. We do wish we didn't have to raise them as much, but fortunately we do have a great program, and they are returned into the wild.
Thank you so much, Tiffany, for helping me out with another virtual interview. I really enjoy doing these virtual interviews because it allows me to do interviews in places that I'm not able to travel to right now. And I just love learning about Costa Rican wildlife, so this is another awesome opportunity for that.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Tamanduas are just beautiful animals, definitely not pets. Wildlife is best in the wild for their health and the health of the earth.
If you guys also want to learn more about Costa Rican wildlife, you can check out my friends, the Wildlife Brothers. I've been in contact with them recently, and they're super cool guys, and they have plenty of videos on Costa Rican wildlife when they're down there. So don't forget to leave a big thumbs up down below, subscribe to my channel, and as always, I'll see you next week.